Well, hello, gang. It's Dr. Bruce, and our next tip here today. We're talking today about something that is a little different than the standard. We've had the cash practice, the insurance practice, and what I have been doing since 1984 was what I call the cash-like practice. A cash-like practice is like a cash practice, yet if they have insurance, we'll take it. I found a long time ago that people that have insurance want to use it. And just telling them, no, we don't accept insurance is really more fulfilling and serving the doctor than it is the patient. And if you're in a community when there's many chiropractors, you want to have as many times to open the door as possibly. What I'm against is having your care being based on insurance reimbursement. In other words, you would give recommendations based on what the insurance company will pay. So cash-like is we have to do the same job as far as going through educating our patients to get them to want to have care, to get them to see the benefit of care, and they're willing to pay for it. And if they can use their insurance, great. And if they don't have insurance, then of course they just pay all cash. But if in most situations where people have insurance, as soon as the insurance quits, so do they. So we want to have a much higher level of commitment to care than the average person. Now, in that, the major roadblock I've found to doctors is constantly expanding, is twofold. People still have high entrance fees because of the insurance, and patients then lack understanding as to the role chiropractic should play in their total health care picture. I had a situation once where I had a cash patient coming in, very happy, extremely happy, and then he referred a PI patient in. And this is way long ago. This is before this is I think my second or third office, and I'm still learning how the thing's going. Anyway, he comes in and refers a patient, and then we send out the bill to the patient, and my friend happened to be visiting him, and they saw my bill. And my first visit was more expensive than this guy's almost year of care, because we're basically doing what everybody does. They tee off on the insurance companies, and I did it too. I learned the hard way, and in doing so, I ended up losing both patients because the one patient came in there and accused me of trying to abuse his insurance company. People are very, very, for some reason, loyal to want to protect their insurance company. And secondly, then the other guy was upset because of the fact that I wasn't charging as low as he was. And with that, I learned a long time ago that you got to make everything very, very clear. So no matter what, I've got a low entrance fee. I don't care what kind of case they are. They come in first visit, and we have a first visit fee, which is low. And it's more of what I call a discovery visit. We want to decide if these people are candidates for care. So we have a low-cost situation, and then once they decide they want to have care, how they pay for it is the secondary question. So rather than coming in and having all the emphasis on the type of case they are determines the care they get, I determine the kind of the care they need, and then determine how it's going to be paid for. That way they have a full understanding, and then they're grateful when their insurance company kicks in something. So therefore, they want the care, and they're happy that they got insurance. And anymore today, insurance is like a coupon. It'll go towards care. In our situation, we'll always come up with an estimate of what we expect to get from the insurance company, and then have the patient pay the difference. But our fees, we collect 100%. So if I'm going to go ahead and make a recommendation of a case, maybe a year of care, I'm going to show what the whole thing's going to cost for the year, what the insurance is going to cover, and what's left over for the patient. And because we take the time to show them the benefits of care and why they need it, why it's unique for them, they go ahead and they're happy to pay for it. That's cash-like. It's not a cash practice, and so therefore it's a whole different scenario. It allows you to still, take the people's insurance and help them out paying for their care, as well as those still controlling the case, and that's my job. So it's a practice in which a patient understands their responsibility and their role in getting well. So, because that's the difference. When somebody's only doing insurance, they just come in my experience, in a lot of offices that I've viewed, they come in as long as it's free. And they'll take care. They'll get massages, or they want whatever they're doing, and their insurance doesn't. As soon as their insurance quits, so do they. they were not committed to care because we got we got lazy and didn't really show them why this was important to do. So you'll never have a cash-paying family well-care practice until you change your community's paradigm on health and healthcare. And that's how you do the cash-like practice, by getting them to understand why they need the care, the benefits of care, and then show them that it's affordable. That's how you build your practice. So first and foremost, your practice is a business. A business is dependent on three things. Easy accessibility. So in my office, we're very easy to access. Our first visits are very low. In doing so, I'd rather have a patient in front of me to educate. And you know what? Put yourself in their shoes for a second. They come in and they pay out of their pocket $300-400 for a first visit, for X-rays, exams, and testing, and all those things. They walk out with $400 poor, and they really haven't changed their life. Now, we might say, well, we need all that stuff to make an assessment, but quite honestly, they don't understand chiropractic well enough, and sometimes they look at it as a stopping point to come in. We have found that if we have a lower risk while they're trying to check us out, because if you remember, we talked about new patients are suspects, not prospects. They're suspicious at best about chiropractic, so by making it more accessible, and they can come in at a low fee, a little bit of money. They got to get them some skin in the game, as I say, but not a lot. And then once you have the information on them, you can recommend care. And if you're looking at just the money factor, you're going to make it up long term by having them understand why they need care and have them commit to a corrective care program. So an easy accessibility in chiropractic is having a low, affordable first visit. It's vitally important, and that was the one thing that I did that was one of the best strategies that started launching my practices. I was relatively stuck, with my high fee practice until I started going lower fee practice, and that was probably the first best strategy I ever did. Then you need to have a major referral procedure in practice. The Total Practice Blueprint is actually a system that educates and motivates patients to why they should have care, why their family should have care. So as we're practicing in our normal visits, we're making people understand the benefits for themselves and the benefits for their family. But you need to have, a constant flow of referrals. There's practices that are advertising dependent, you miss the boat. It's much more economical, much more practical. You get better patients when you have referrals. And then the front desk, I call it a de-stressor. People walk in, they're a little bit freaked out, they're kind of like suspicious what's going to go on. And the front desk person, they got to be great at bringing people in and making them feel healthy and wanted and loved and all those things. Many of us will hire, the first person gets put at the front desk. So brand new off the street, they come in, the first job they get is front desk in most offices that I evaluate. That's the least experience, the least knowledgeable, is your first and last impression. Make sense? Of course not. I always put my sharpest person at the front desk. That was my practice quarterback. So when they walked in the office, they're met by a person that understands chiropractic. It might be your new patient liaison, your marketing person, whatever. Great place for them when they're not doing their marketing is to be at the front desk, because that's a marketing position. And lastly, new patients got financially friendly. So it's easy to refer to you, because even when friends know that your fees are relatively high to get in the door, they don't refer their friends. They try to protect them. It's a crazy situation. Or even yourself, and you go out and promote, hey, come see me. What's your first visit? Oh, like $500. Well, I don't feel that bad. I'll wait until I'm really feeling bad. Then I'll come in. But if it's like in my office, it was $79. First visit, total $79, no matter what I did. I didn't try to make money on the first visit. I tried to gather information so I could sit there and show them why they needed care. The more information I can gather to use as a presentation to show them why they need care, the better off it is for everybody, because they get it better, and then they join care, and they go now through a period of time. And we end up doing quite well, just by going through a year of care. So that's my focus, is not how much money I can make on my first day. It's how much, that I can get them committed to long-term care, because they'll benefit long-term. I'll benefit as a professional, getting better results. When I have them in my office on a repeated basis, they're going to get better. They're going to have better results. They're going to refer more people. If money pushes them out, they never get better. They don't refer. So make sure your financially friendly office is in place. We always have to have a constant and predictable amount of new patients. I've always said this, that new patients they stimulate growth. They don't create growth. Growth is created through your long-term care, through the procedures we do and the education we do. But if you have a situation you can predict, 10, 15, 20 new patients, a week or a month, however the type of practice you want to have, that's going to and when you have that machine in place, you keep it in place. Constant marketing is important. Again, a lot of people will sit there and run their practice. They'll get a bunch of new patients and they'll quit marketing. They'll feel like they got some patients for a while. And then before they know it, those patients have cycled out or they didn't retain them. And then, of course, now we need new patients again. If we have a situation in place that's constantly driving people through our procedures, through our in-office visits, in-office lectures, our social networking, our website that actually is working. Most websites are, I used to say a website and $5 will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. A website's worthless if it's not searchable on Google on page 1. If it doesn't have a responding lead generation situation to it, it's worthless. So we create our websites to be actually lead generators. And they also market automatically. When someone clicks on that site and they check it out, we start getting emailing and we start actually following up with them. So when somebody clicks through our website, we know they're there and we follow up. And that's great. That's good for 4 or 5 patients a week. And that's not a bad deal. A well-organized, efficient, and profitable office is something that you don't understand how important the organization is. I've gone through a lot of offices, and half the time they're looking for their charts. They can't find their charts a lot of times. They're not efficient. And therefore they're not profitable. So we want to do that. We want to have our office and the procedures, the system that we create here with the Total Practice Blueprint. Our system is such that your office works like a Swiss watch. I mean, just perfectly organized, very efficient. I don't like big offices. A lot of people want bigger and bigger offices. I was able to process, 3,000 visits, easily a month, in 1,400 square feet, so, and you can do even more than that. But my point is, that's what we were doing. And therefore, it doesn't have to be huge. The more staff you have, the more they get in the way. The less efficient they are. I'd rather have higher quality staff, pay them higher wages, make them proud of their job, make them proud of their career, and then use them more efficiently. We tend to bring a lot of people in to actually, what I used to say is we throw money and people at problems. And because we have more and more staff, we tend to try to find cheaper or less expensive staff, and it doesn't really add to the quality. I would rather have a couple high-quality people that can handle 3 things at once and pay them at a great rate, give them benefits, and let them see this as a career rather than just a bunch of people, working part-time and trying to get through at the cheapest rate. A staff member, remember, is the front desk is your financial destiny. The front desk is the one that answers the phone, greets people, collects money, sends them off. They are your financial destiny. Who do you want up there? The sharpest or the cheapest? And then lastly, a method to maintain the highest number of patients that stay with the practice, retention. So new patients stimulate growth, retention builds growth, develops growth. That's where your practice comes in. You've heard it said that my last year in practice of one clinic that I had sold, I was there for a year, transferring over to the new doctor. I only saw maintenance patients, and I averaged well over 300 a week, for over a year by not taking any new patients. All the new patients were going to the new doctor. So in that situation, we had great retention, and that's how you really sustain a practice. So with that, keep that in mind, how important that all is, and I'll see you on the next video.